And I know that's something we need to work out. Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Fraser. Mr. Choquette will be followed by Patricia Curtis.
Thank you for letting me speak. It's very important that we be able to show a sign like this here, okay? There are beatings taking place on Gold Base. Sunday I spoke for over an hour to somebody that's had been in Scientology for about 25 years, and he had been on Gold Base for many years as well. And what they don't want to see there, what they're very afraid of, is this sign right here, okay? The beatings that take place there. We have told the police, they have seen our signs, but why did the police, the sheriff, will not arrest Mr. David Miscavige? That should be much more important for you guys now. That's what you should probably concentrate on. Go, arrest him, and find out the facts. Be aware that the people that live there are under what's called the Stockholm Syndrome, okay? Which means that they cannot really be free to talk. You have to take them out for, a few days, possibly a few weeks. Talk to them individually, tell them to relax, and tell the facts. That's why we're out there protesting. You got to wonder, why is it that 7,000 people worldwide protest against Scientology? This is, there's got to be a reason for that. Let me tell you just a little anecdote that happened to me an hour ago. When I came here, I was followed by a black pickup truck, a black Toyota pickup truck without license plates. It had the dealer plates on it. Well, that's not a big deal, right? But listen, this guy followed me 4 months ago out of Hemet with the two ladies here. They'll be able to corroborate that. And then he also followed me in Tustin after a Scientology protest both times. Each of those times, I told the police and the sheriff that this man had no plates, no registration. I went to the Tustin police station there. They didn't do anything. And now we've got the same problem. The same guy. This guy's getting paid by Scientology. What we're doing here is very dangerous. We need your help, okay? Another thing, I tried to file charges here with Sergeant Morin on November 4th, Election Day. He refused to take my charges against the 3 guards that attacked me. They attacked me. I have video of that. I've offered all of you to see it, okay? Whatever they say is false, okay? I did not run on the property to go bite them. I did not get escorted out and I bid them on the way out of the property. These are lies. Scientology has a procedure to lie if you'd like to see it. It's well explained on how to lie, okay? They restrict free speech. And I need to show that sign here at Gold Base, okay? This is my constitutional right, okay? I need to show that to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Choquette. Patricia Curtis, who's given 3 minutes to Graham Berry. Did you want to do that still? Mr. Berry, you'll have another 3 minutes.
Primarily in rebuttal to what has been said by the Scientology speakers, Your Honour. Gentlemen, but I do consider you honourable. What they're suggesting is putting the fox in the chicken coop. You have heard Ms. Fraser say, we'll work it out with the police, we'll work it out with the sheriffs, we'll work it out with county council. That is unacceptable, that is wrong. They should not be working out how the law that they drafted is going to be applied to them. And what happened last Thursday? They decided they didn't want us picketing where you've heard it's okay to picket. We were picketing at the entrance. And what did Ms. Fraser do? She asked the sheriffs to move us to the far end of the property where Mr. Choquette was attacked and thrown to the ground and hogtied. The sheriffs should not be censoring picket signs. They should not be deciding that we can use this sign but not that sign, or that Scientology can move us here, but not there. It is putting far too much discretion in the hands of Scientology to interpret their own ordinance, and it's going to end up in the courts involving certainly those involved, but maybe this county as well. It is wrong for the sheriffs to be requesting identification of everyone who pickets out there and presumably turning that identification over to Scientology. Scientology has hired hundreds of private investigators around the world to ascertain the identities and to track down those who are picketing them. And here we have Scientology using the Riverside sheriffs to get the identities of protesters, which are not required anywhere else and are not required as a matter of law, and handing those identities over to the Scientologists for retaliation, such as you heard happened to Mr. Choquette outside his residence. The only thing to do with this ordinance is to reject it or revise it, and if it's to be revised, it should be done with full public participation and hearings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to invite Pete LeBon to come up to the mic. Pete, if you come up from our Riverside County Sheriff's Department and talk about IDs of people that you talk to, and do you share that information with other entities, or do you keep that amongst yourselves? And are you in any way compelled by any of the signs that you see protesting any particular establishment and apprehending or suspecting that people are breaking the law?
Good morning, Supervisor. Pete LeBon, Assistant Sheriff. And I'll have to echo what was said earlier. There's an acoustic issue occurring here. It's very difficult to understand what you're saying. I believe you were inquiring concerning the sheriff's stance thus far.
There was an allegation just made that the Sheriff's Department and their proactive response to protesters at the Golden Era entrance are being requested IDs, we've heard, and that the Sheriff's Department shares those IDs with members of the Church of Scientology. Sheriffs are interrogating people whether they have AIDS or don't have AIDS. Is that common practice among the Sheriff's Department? And does the Sheriff's Department in any way enforce ordinances based on the protest content of signs?
None of that would be our preferred practice. Supervisors, as you're abundantly aware, this ordinance is fresh. That would be a gross understatement, I think. It is the sheriff's interest to work with county council. With all due respect to Mr. Al-Hadaf, we will be working with county council in terms of refining and providing our input regarding this ordinance, which is our practice with respect to any new ordinance in Riverside County. Regarding the incidents last week, I do not have in-depth knowledge concerning any enforcement action we took out there. I do have peripheral knowledge of it and certainly awareness of it. I was informed of the context. My comment would be that for many years, interaction between demonstrators, protesters, individuals expressing their opinions regarding the Church of Scientology at that location and in that area has been an issue. It was an issue again next week. I don't think it would be reckless to predict that it will be an issue again this week and next week. The Sheriff's Department is accustomed to dealing with these issues in that area. It is our objective when dealing with issues of this type on Gilman Springs Road or anywhere else in Riverside County to do so without having to resort to enforcing ordinances. In the case of a brand new ordinance, we are particularly interested in collecting information and less interested in aggressive enforcement. And we are hoping that the information that we gather as we respond out to Gilman Springs will assist us in our dialogue with County Council in doing so.
Thank you, Ms. LeBon.
Question for Pete.
Supervisor.
Pete, if you have a habitual problem with protesting or ordinance, habitual location, from the sheriff's perspective, I would think, and I'm sure your answer is going to be yes, but correct me if I'm wrong, that you and we are trying to control that so that both have their First Amendment rights. I would think you would want to be in the front of the game rather than after the fact, after an ordinance is passed. And I mean, if it meant that we should delay this for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks to ensure that we have the most appropriate ordinance to control the current situation, to give you, the Sheriff's Department, and both sides of the issue and the First Amendment right, the best tools to do what they feel they need to do, wouldn't that be best?